We're going to be talking about dark magic, the dark goddess, dark gods, and we're just pretty much going to be breaking that ideology that darkness equals evil, and it doesn't. So we're going to be smoking a cigar, and we're going to let them spirits come through because the dark entities got something to tell y'all themselves, you feel me? People that been here for a little minute, whenever the cigar come out, the black and mild come out, you already know that spirit's about to come through, like. And I'm not talking about that old love and light stuff. I'm talking about the real deal. You feel me? That dark magic. And first of all, come up in here with an empty cup and an open mind. Because if you come up in here talking about, oh, darkness is evil, we only gotta appreciate the light, I'm gonna tell you right now, you are not balanced, honey. And the spirits will call you out in a second. I'm not saying I know everything, because I really don't. I'm still learning just like everybody else up in here in the building. But I will say from my own experience, I've learned that whenever I just focus on one particular side of magic, the occult, metaphysics, I realize that I am imbalanced. You feel me? Just like if you get caught up in a magical world and you not focused on the mundane world, like let's say you just lighting a whole bunch of candles and doing a whole bunch of magical shit and meditating 24/7, but you're not tending to your responsibilities as an adult, as a parent, as a wife, as a husband, as a whatever you're supposed to be. So one thing that the dark goddess is basically saying is that when it comes to magic, when it comes to metaphysics, you have to have an open mind and you can't believe what anybody tells you. You have to realize that light came out of darkness. We gotta realize that when we talk about darkness, we're not talking about evil, we're not talking about wickedness, we're not talking about demonic, and we're gonna get into that word demon as well a little bit later on. But demon is not an evil entity. Demon didn't always mean what it means today. But when she's talking about darkness, we're talking about the primordial source of all power, the primordial source of all being. In any religious text or spiritual text or scrolls, they always talk about how we came out of this nothingness, right? Or God said, let there be light. So before there was light, there was sound, which means that magic comes from what? The tongue, hakau or hekau, the spells that we speak. That's why they always say, be careful what you say or be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Words have power. But let's go back. When we talk about that darkness, we're talking about the primordial source before light and form came into being. So that's that chaotic energy. Chaos does not mean bad. Dark does not mean bad. Good and bad is a human construct. We got to get past that. We're not humans. We're gods having a human experience. If you made it this far into the video, obviously that means that you're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be watching this because this resonates with your spiritual journey. This message is not for everybody. There's a lot of people, particularly the majority, that likes to follow the path of the light and only the light. Because guess what? The light feels good. The light seems friendly. It seems easy. It's passive. It's something that's well accepted. A lot of people in society, they blend in, they put on a mask so that they can be accepted. People like to be accepted. Whenever you are a black sheep or you go a different route from your family, from your friends, what do they call you? A black sheep, right? The black magic, black sheep. Why do they put that word black on everything that's supposed to be evil or negative? But if you look deeper, you'll notice that there was a gap. I feel like I'm channeling right now because I'm sweating. I'm channeling. Okay. She's basically saying that whenever you hear about these metaphysical movies and stories about like good versus evil, there was definitely a battle or a war that happened a very long time ago between angels, gods, demons, deities, whatever name you want to put on them. These entities that happened on a different realm than this realm as we know it here in 3D. And basically what happened was these beings that some of y'all call light beings now, you can say it was something kind of like high school. And we're going to put you in the shoes of us so you can understand what we're going through as far as the dark entities, right? Basically, imagine that you're new to a school or you're new to a new job, a new location, a new neighborhood, right? You're new on the block. New kid on the block, and you don't know anybody. And so let's say a person starts spreading rumors about you, saying, oh, don't talk to her, don't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? They're bad, they're evil, they're negative, they don't got this going on. They jinx, they curse, don't talk to them. And then people start believing it. So now everybody's avoiding you like the plague because one person started a rumor and nobody really got a chance to get to know you. So imagine this one person spreading this rumor like a poison. Now nobody want to talk to you. Everybody painted you as being evil and wicked. And so guess what? Now that you don't have nobody to talk to, and you're like, fuck it. Y'all think I'm evil? Then that's what I'm gonna be then. You think that I'm a bad influence? Well, that's what I'm gonna be then. That's exactly what happened to the deities, these dark deities that people know it. Because they weren't always evil. Remember, these dark deities, all they wanted to do was to make humanity, make humans wiser. They wanted to teach humans the godly arts. That's why you always hear about the serpent in the Garden of Eden that whispered wisdom into Eve's ear. But God, the light being, didn't want Eve to know the secrets. They wanted them to become slaves and being controlled. Isn't that what's happening today in the world? Nothing has changed. The only difference now is that these dark beings are coming back up again. Just like in the movies, Maleficent 2, right? Mistress of Evil. They was basically talking about these dark beings. They called the Moors, okay? And they don't name these beings accidentally. They do their research. These producers and stuff, they know what they're talking about. They basically talk about these dark angels or dark fairies that went into hiding or was suppressed, the Titans, right? That was suppressed, that had to go underground for a while, that have raised back up into reality. That's exactly what's happening. So remember that war that we was telling you about that happened between the light and the dark? Okay, so what happened was basically there was an all-out war and there was shamans, healers, mediums, you know, people that are called what we do nowadays, right? Like channelers, oracles, tarot readers, like brujas, witches, magicians, whatever you want to call yourself. Those existed back in the day, our ancestors. And so the Crusaders didn't like that these people had power to access the higher realms and the lower realms. These beings literally walk through reality. That's what shamans did. They can be in multiple realities at once. Do you know how powerful that is? So basically, the dark goddess is basically saying there was a war. When the Crusades came, these light beings, and remember, not all angels are good. Not all demons are bad. We're going to get into that. Basically, there was a war, right? Light, dark. And we always hear about in all the mythologies, like the Olympians, the Titans, like whatever you want to call them. So basically what happened was there was a war between these angels, these gods, these deities, these beings. And so these beings started to manipulate humans and saying, you know what, we're going to make certain humans get rid of these shamans. So what happened was there was war. There was a whole bunch of chaos being spread on Earth, Middle Earth, where we live now, the 3D dimension. And so the dark beings was like, all right, look, we're going to continue to give humanity the fire of knowledge. Prometheus, Lucifer, shall I say more names that got demonized? But you always hear about them wanting to spread knowledge to humans, right? The story of Enki and Enlil. Let's go back, and that's the story of the Anunnaki, going back to Babylonian times. This has been happening, this is cycles, and it's still happening today, and we're going to get into that. So basically, the light beings and the dark beings, they had to make a decision. So the dark beings was like, nah, we're not going to stop spreading knowledge to humanity because you guys want to side with these crusaders. There had to be a choice, just like American Gods. You gotta watch American Gods. They were basically saying it's either you assimilate to this new paradigm or you be forgotten and washed away. And so the dark deities, which are the primordials, which is ancient, they was like, nah, we're not gonna blend in with this new paradigm. It's not right. So then the light beings was like, all right, well, we're choosing to be on the side of the Crusaders. That's when Christianity, Catholicism, Islam, all of that stuff started coming in, right? The newer religions started coming in. And so the deities had to make a decision. So that's what happened where the Crusaders and the kings or whatever was like, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna demonize these dark beings, and then we're going to make these whiter gods or light gods or our new gods the only God. And if we find anybody worshiping these old gods, we're going to lynch them. We're going to burn them. We're going to hang them. We're going to cut them open. We're going to humiliate them in public. We're going to demonize them. We're going to publicly assassinate them. And that's what happened. And so now you have these dark beings, these beings of chaos, these primordial gods that are, they call demons, that have been wiped out, forgotten, banished, like locked up somewhere in our subconscious mind. So what happens when a person is forgotten? Have you ever felt like you've been forgotten, or people started spreading rumors about you and there's nothing that you can say or do to prove yourself? Can you imagine how that feels? So imagine this going on for centuries. for aeons, for years. And this is the cycle that's been constantly repeated for so long now. And there's a reason why we got to break down the history of it so you guys can understand why things are the way that they are. Even to the point where if you were dark skinned, even in India right now, they have the caste system. Like if you're dark, you're considered evil. And where do you think this mindset came from, right? Why do you think that a lot of people look at dark skinned, melanated people, black people a certain way? Because they subconsciously, this has been ingrained in your DNA, that dark is bad, white is good. And now they got these different tribes and different complexions and different races fighting each other. But the truth of the matter is, you have to find balance. The dark energy is not evil.